How Barcelona's in-EU tactic is breaking traditions. Imagine a world where Barcelona's famous tiki-taka style of play is replaced by a fast-paced, vertical style of play that breaks all the rules of football. What if I told you that a German boss was a part of one of the worst times in the club's history and is now leading a tactical revolution that could change FC Barcelona's future? Hansi Flick made a team that is both unpredictable and highly offensive by combining the best parts of Barcelona's history with the intensity of counter-pressing. How did he do it? Come with me as we go deep into this journey of change and look at how Barcelona is breaking its own rules and making a new path in modern football. Over the last 30 years, FC Barcelona has come to represent a distinctive style of play known as possession-based football, or tiki-taka. Managers that were primarily Spanish or Dutch have maintained this attitude, which was greatly influenced by Dutch total football and the vision of great managers like Johan Cruyff and Pep Guardiola. This strategy was central to Barcelona's identity for many years, making them one of the most successful teams in Europe. This tradition is abruptly broken when a German manager shows there, leading to what many are referring to as a German revolution at Barcelona. Hansi Flick, the manager who previously gave Barcelona one of their worst losses while he was at Bayern Munich, has suddenly returned to the scene. But this time, he is rebuilding the squad he destroyed. Flick, who is well known for his fierce gegenpressing and vertical style of play, has brought a fresh tactical philosophy to Barcelona that departs from the team's long-standing customs. What precisely is this revolution, and how is Barcelona changing as a result of Flick's style? The German Revolution, from tiki-taka to gegenpressing. Barcelona has long been known for their complex, possession-heavy style of play, which involves patient passing to control the game's tempo and gradually constructing play from the back to overwhelm opposing defenses. The club depended on organized formations and play patterns under former managers Pep Guardiola, Tito Villanova, and Xavi Hernandez to keep the ball moving, frequently horizontally in short passes until an opportunity could be discovered. But many opponents have figured out how to counter this slow build-up in the modern game by crowding the defense and midfield with men, which forces Barcelona to make the same passes over and over again without really creating any opportunities. Barcelona became more inflexible and dependable as the opposition improved at undermining their strategy. Fans and management were both frustrated by the lack of progress, which resulted in a string of mediocre performances throughout Europe. Hansi Flick comes on. There was a clear departure from the past with his arrival. The German tactical theory that Flick brought with him stands in stark contrast to Barcelona's long-standing practices. Flick adopted a more dynamic, riskier style that prioritized fast transitions and direct attacking football in place of the methodical, patient build-up play. What is his philosophy? As soon as you can, get the ball into the final third and use accurate, forward-oriented passes to take advantage of the gaps between the opposition's lines. This change from Barcelona's traditions to a more vertical style of play, where passes are used to advance the ball rather than merely keep possession, has been drastic, with an emphasis on hard pressing, quick transitions, and goal-scoring above game management. Flick's Barcelona plays a high-risk, high-reward brand of football, breaking the boundaries, verticality, and positional freedom. Positional freedom is among the biggest adjustments Flick has made to Barcelona. Players were frequently assigned to certain areas of the field under former managers like Xavi, which made the team's structure inflexible and simple for opponents to predict. The opposing defenses become confused as a result of Flick's encouragement of his players to move freely over the field. For example, instead of placing his players close to one another, Flick likes to disperse them as widely as possible over the field. The opposition finds it more difficult to press successfully as a result of the space created between the lines and the more ground they must cover. Players may now wander freely and are not restricted to their designated duties, which increases attack unpredictability. Flick's emphasis on vertical passing is another distinguishing feature of his approach. Flick wants every pass to have a specific goal, moving the ball ahead as fast as possible instead of going laterally or backward to keep possession. Compared to the conventional tiki-taka tactic, which frequently required patience and numerous passes to break down defensive lines, this strategy aims to get the ball into advanced parts of the pitch more quickly. But there are drawbacks to this assertive strategy as well. There is a bigger chance of leaving the defense open to counterattacks when players are positioned higher up the field. Flick has added elements of gegenpressing to Barcelona's playstyle in order to offset this vulnerability. Gegenpressing is a strategy that gained popularity in Germany. It entails pressing the enemy hard as soon as you lose possession of the ball, in an effort to regain it before the other team can counterattack. Barcelona has been able to sustain their intensity while still committing players forward in attack thanks to this high-energy approach. Tactical flexibility and adjusting to opposition. Even though Flick's strategy emphasizes attacking football, there are certain tactical adjustments to be made. His system's adaptability is among its most remarkable features. For instance, in order to create a 3+2 configuration that provides more passing options while facing opponents who push high up the pitch, Flick frequently adjusts by splitting his center backs wider and positioning his pivots vertically. Barcelona is able to advance the ball and get past the opposition's press as a result. Additionally, Flick has adopted a more asymmetrical offensive formation in which the far-sided fullback moves higher up the field to create width, while the ball-sided fullback retreats to form a back three with the center backs. This compels the opposition to concentrate on one side, creating room for a swift change of play on the other side. Flick's strategy is intended to disorganize the opponent by erratic movement and quick transitions, in contrast to the organized, deliberate build-up under prior managers. However, errors are unavoidable when playing football in such a high-risk, fast-paced manner. There is always the risk of losing control in hazardous locations, which could result in opposition counterattacks. Flick has emphasized counter-pressing heavily in order to counteract this, in order to put immediate pressure on the opposition and force them to make mistakes or play long, optimistic passes that Barcelona can win back. Barcelona's players are coached to swarm the ball carrier if the ball is lost. The function of important figures in Flick's framework. Highly intelligent, adaptable players who feel at ease in a range of roles are necessary for Flick's tactical vision to succeed. The deep-line playmakers, or individuals who can pick out accurate, line-breaking passes from deep positions, are the backbone of this system. To carry out this function during his time at Bayern Munich, Flick mostly depended on players like Thiago Alcantara and Joshua Kimmich. Players like Ilkay Gundogan, who offers the required inventiveness and vision, and Frenkie de Jong, who can dictate play from deep, have been given this role at Barcelona. Under Flick's approach, defensive players like Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Robert Lewandowski have flourished. In addition to being entrusted with leading the line and scoring goals, Lewandowski has been allowed to drop deep and engage in build-up play despite his advanced age. Yamal, the sensational 17-year-old, has been positioned as a vital member of the attack, breaking down defenders with his inventiveness and dribbling. Additionally, wide players like Yamal and Rafinha are heavily emphasized in Flick's approach. Barcelona's attack is made even more unpredictable by the fact that these wingers are allowed to stay wide or cut inside depending on the scenario, creating extra space on the sides as the opponent is compelled to narrow their shape. The pressing game and defensive fragility. Although Flick's Barcelona has shown a lot of promise offensively, defensive solidity has suffered as a result of the team's move to a more vertical and aggressive style. Barcelona is exposed to swift counterattacks because of their high defensive line and pushing strategy. With the full-backs pushed high up the pitch, the opposition frequently has plenty of space to exploit if the initial press fails. The absence of physically dominating defenders for Barcelona has made this vulnerability worse. They have occasionally struggled against opponents that play direct, long balls over the top of the defense, since the majority of their defenders are more at ease on the ball than in physical duels. Flick has mostly depended on his dynamic midfielders and wingers to track back and provide defensive support in order to counter this. The goalkeeper serves as a sweeper, stepping off his line to clear any dangerous long balls played behind the defense, while players like Yamal and Rafinha are frequently seen dropping deep to help the fullbacks. Flick's Barcelona's future. Without a doubt, the club has entered a new era with the arrival of Hansi Flick. His tactical revolution has defied convention, turning Barcelona from a possession-focused, patient squad into a vertical, energetic side that enjoys fast transitions and pushing. The team's defensive shortcomings have been made clear, even though this change has immediately improved scoring opportunities. Flick's success will depend on how well he strikes a balance between attack and defense. Barcelona has the potential to reclaim their position as one of Europe's most powerful teams if they can continue to push and counterpress with vigor while strengthening their defense. But if the defensive weaknesses continue, Flick's bold strategy can backfire and result in further humiliating losses, similar to the one Barcelona endured against Bayern Munich in 2020. Whatever happens, one thing is for sure: the German Revolution at Camp Nou was just getting started, and Flick's Barcelona isn't scared to defy convention. For the time being, Barcelona supporters may anticipate a fast, thrilling, and unexpected style of game. Everything that contemporary football ought to be. However, it is unclear if this will usher in a new golden age or further disappointment. If you enjoyed this deep dive into FC Barcelona's tactical evolution and want to stay updated on the latest in football innovations, make sure to hit that subscribe button